Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today we're going to be talking about the Martinsville Speedway um, weekend for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. So talk about the results, but first we're going to be talking about Phoenix. Yes, the championship weekend, the championship finale for all three Premier Series, and apparently also for the ARCA Menards West Series as well. But who really cares about ARCA Menards West Series? Well, we only care about Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. So, yes, practice and qualifying will be back. So, on Friday, November the 5th, it'll be very action-packed, um, especially for the Truck Series. So, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, it'll be the practice, no TV, so that'll be just not live at all. Cup Series, it will be at 4:05 p.m. at Eastern Time for practice. Then the Truck Series at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time for qualifying. Xfinity, that will be on at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time for practice, and the Truck Series at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the running of the Lucas Oil 150. That'll be on FS1 and MRN if you want to watch it, and that'll be also obviously the championship battle between the four drivers, which we'll get into very soon. As I mean very soon, I mean later. There'll be also a press pass if you want to watch that at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday, November 6th, the ARCA Menards West Series will be on full practice and qualifying at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, it will be the Arizona Lottery 100 for the ARCA Menards West Series, if you want to watch that. And then the Xfinity Series at 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time for qualifying, and the Cup Series at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, also for qualifying. And then the Xfinity Series, the race will start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. And there'll be also a press pass at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Finally, for Sunday, the Cup Series that will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. So that'll be run on I think on NBC, the Peacock, I think that is, MRN and TSM. Same for Xfinity, but that's only that'll be only NBCSN. There we go. I think that's a cable network. I can't remember, but so the Cup Series that will be obviously at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern Time it will be the press pass, if you want to watch that. So that is a very action-packed Phoenix Raceway for the finale for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. So let's now go on with the results at Martinsville, and we'll first start off with the Truck Series, and that was won by Zane Smith. Another clutch win in the Truck Series. So, obviously, before we get into the actual events that happened, we'll talk about the top 20, which I'm probably going to downscale maybe to the top 15 for next season. So Zane Smith won to punch himself into the championship 4. Then Austin Hill, Tanner Gray, Chandler Smith, Matt Crafton, Parker Kligerman, Ben Rhodes, Taylor Gray, Sheldon Creed, and Timmy Hill ran at the top 10. Then Corey Helm, Carson Hocevar, Chris Wright, Denny Bowen, Spencer Boyd, Chris Hecker, Stuart Friesen, Tate Vogelman, Haley Deegan, and Austin Wayne Self ran out of the top 20. Only one playoff driver finished outside of the top 20, and that was John Hunter Nemechek, finishing in 39th place. Now for what happened in the race. So only one driver went to the rear, and that was Parker Kligerman due to adjustments. I think unapproved adjustments or something. I don't really know. So lap 46, Corey Roper spins as Todd Gilliland wins stage 1. Lap 60, Matt Crafton radios that he has a brake pressure issue, which means he has to pump the brake pedal on the straight. So I think that's just like, hitting the brakes sometimes on the straight, just to make sure if it works for the corners. On lap 100, Todd Gilliland wins stage 2, so he swept he swept both of the stages. Lap 130, John Hunter Nemechek gets into the wall after cutting down on Austin Wayne himself. People said it was kind of just like a revenge for Austin Wayne himself. If they definitely looked like that Nemechek cut down on self. Well, actually cut up on self, and he straight up into the outside wall, I think in turn 3, if I remember correctly. So a bit unlucky there for Nemechek, but spoiler alert, he is still in a chance for the championship. Lap 147, during the restart, Carson Hocevar is penalized for a restart violation, basically ending his chances of making it to the championship. Anyways, lap 157, Kligerman spins some solder, and a couple laps later, I think on like 20 laps later, on lap 177, Johnny Sauter gets spun from Parker Kligerman as an act for revenge. Lap 185, Crafton spins with Corey Helm, but he keeps his truck going. Still has a chance. Still his championship hopes is still alive. Lap 204, the craziest start. The craziness starts for the finish. Stuart Friesen spins out Todd Gilliland, as it definitely looked like he probably had a tire cut down, or maybe he was intentionally trying to spin out Gilliland for the win, because Stuart Friesen I think it was actually okay even if he finished second place, or maybe he was in a must-win territory. I don't know, but either way, he definitely only won that win. So he spun out Todd Gilliland at the line, coming to the white flag, which means that Zane Smith basically passed out both of them. Stuart Friesen also spun out. I think he banged the door of Zane Smith. He spun out turn 1. Zane Smith kept going and won. The United Rentals 200 locked himself into the championship 4. So Zane Smith once again, for the second year in a row, he'll be competing for a championship. Maybe a champion? We just have to wait and see though. That is the Truck Series. Let's now move on to the Xfinity Series, and now it was won by Noah Gragson. Yes, the man who legit puked. I think like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, when he got his first win in the Truck Series. He is the same person who decided to shotgun a beer after he won the race. Beautiful scenes. But anyways, so second place with Noah Gragson was Austin Cindric, then Daniel Hemrick, Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier, Brendan Jones, AJ Allmendinger, Alex LeBay, Jeremy Clements, and Riley Herbst ran out the top 10. Then Josh Williams, Landon Castle, Myatt Snyder, Colin Garrett, Joe Graff Jr., JJ Yaley, Jade Buford, Preston Partis, Brett Moffitt, and Harrison Burton ran out the top 20. Only one playoff driver finished outside of the top 20, and that was Justin Haley, finishing in 35th place. 3 drivers went to the rear of the race: Stephen Light and Joe Graff Jr., both for unapproved adjustments, and Mike Harmon due to a driver change. Even though I have no idea who was originally the driver, I can't tell you. Lap 48, Sam Mayer gets heavy damage from Ty Gibbs, brake checking him. So basically, I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think it's just for retaliation or just how annoyed he was, but I legit have no clue why he did that. Lap 61, Austin Cindric wins stage 1, and on lap 120, Noah Gragson wins stage 2. Lap 126, Justin Haley pits for a second time with no brakes, as his rear brakes catches on fire. So he pitted under caution. Then, he had to pit again because he had no brakes. And then on lap 132, he heads to the garage, but he does come back onto the racetrack. Lap 193, Mike Cornett and Riley Herbst gets together after Spencer Boyd holds everyone up after the restart. Matt Mills runs over Matt Snyder, who got a lot of damage on his, I think, left front, and Brent Moffitt spins. Lap 196, red flag for net dropping fluid on the racetrack. Lap 201, after the restart, Cindric bumps into Gragson, who bumps into Gibbs, spinning him out, so just a domino effect. Lap 223, Harrison Burton takes a jack with him as he leaves pit road, so basically the ghost of the jack roams around in the backstretch still. I know, terrifying. Lap 244, Justin Haley spins in turn 4. I told you right there, he'll be back. 250, after the restart, Josh Berry spins after Herbst gets into the back of him, which means an overtime. And on lap 257, Noah Gragson wins the dead-on tools 250, locking himself into the championship 4. So that was, I mean, was it a clutch win? I guess so. I mean, I don't really know, to be honest, because, I mean, Gragson was, I think, almost in the good. If not, he was pretty close, outside of the cut line. I think it was like -4 or something outside of the cut line. I can't remember, but something along the lines of that. It was pretty close, but he did reassure, and he won at Martinsville. So that means now he has a chance of winning the championship for Junior Motorsports. So that is the Xfinity Series. Now we move on to the Cup Series, and oh god, the Cup Series was a very, very interesting time. So that was won by Alex Bowman. Obviously, I think he got his fourth win of the season, if I remember correctly. How cool was that? So finishing second behind him was Kyle Busch, who somehow did not make it to the playoffs, even though I think he should have. Then third place, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Chris Buescher, and Joe Logano ran out the top 10. Then Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Matt Benedetto, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Anthony Alfredo ran out the top 20. Only one playoff driver finished outside of the top 20, and that was Denny Hamlin, finishing in 24th place. Events that happened in the race, and there is quite a few stuff. Oh, there's the other finishes. Oh, well, here we go right here. And obviously, just a reminder, I have it in my sticky notes, just so I can just read it for my second monitor. So, to the rear was only one driver, and that was Denny Hamlin. Multiple inspection failures. Lap 72, Ryan Newman spins in turn 4 after Suarez gets loose. Lap 130, Chase Elliott wins stage 1. Lap 197, Austin Dillon gets into the turn 2 wall with a right front tire down. Right front tire down. Yep, got it. Okay, cool. Lap 260, Chase Elliott wins stage 2. Lap 310, Michael McDowell gets into the left rear of Corey LaJoie, sending him to Bilicki, who spins. Lap 323, Quinn Half spins and damages the left rear of the car. And retaliation. Oh, more rivalries this season. Jesus Christ, as Quinn Half spins Josh Bilicki in retaliation. He got held for 5 laps. Now this is key, as obviously we're gonna be talking about. I know a lot of you are kind of waiting for my opinion of the last couple laps, but we'll get to that pretty soon. Lap 339, Ryan Newman and Ross Chastain crashes on the backstretch. Lap 455, Brad Keselowski gets into Chase Elliott, spinning him in turn 3. Obviously, Elliott was very, very angry after the race, which is completely understandable. Lap 486, Hamlin defends Bowman for the lead from after a dive from Bowman. Lap 494, Bowman spins out Hamlin for the lead. This is also pretty controversial as well, and then we'll get to that pretty soon. Now, lap 501, Alex Bowman wins the Xfinity 500, and this is possibly the funniest way to basically tell someone that you are number 1. Hamlin interrupts his burnout and flipping him off in the process. Obviously, if you have seen the onboard cameras of his car, you would have, seen him basically saying that you are number 1 twice. It was pretty funny, I'll be honest. It was pretty amusing to watch it. But yeah, not a lot of NASCAR fans are going to be really too proud of Hamlin with that, especially after in his interview, he basically called him a hack, and he basically told him that he's a terrible driver and his teammates basically better than him. That's basically what he said. But he is a hack. Oh my god! And guess what? Bowman has already printed out shirts from it. So just like how I think it was Chase Elliott who printed out some shirts after what he said about Harvick. Bowman has printed out T-shirts from what Hamlin said about him about calling him a hack, which is actually pretty funny. It was a pretty funny soundbite from that interview. So that is obviously it for the Cup Series, as it ends with controversy about Hamlin and Bowman, and for some reason, Quinn Half versus Josh Bilicki. Possibly the two drivers who no one really talks about a lot. They had their own little rivalry. Oh, Jesus Christ. The battle of the back markers. Sarah Collin versus Rick Ware. Oh, jeez. We'll get to see what Gwynne Val has to say about that. But anyways, let's have a look at the standings. And obviously, this is where we get to see who is competing for a championship. We'll first start off with the Truck Series. And currently, Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, and John Hunter Nemechek, they are all in the chance of winning the championship. And I swear to God, if Matt Crafton wins once again, he is just an absolute god of just exposing the system. If you have seen Black Flags Matters video about Matt Crafton winning, what was it, the 2018, 2019 championship, you know what I'm talking about. If he does it again, my god, they probably need to revert it back, to be honest. Anyways, but the drivers who were eliminated, I'm going to remember, Sheldon Creed, Stuart Friesen, Chandler Smith, and Carson Hocevar. Those are the 4 drivers who eliminated. And obviously shows right here in the standings. Sheldon Creed, Stuart Friesen, Todd Gilliland, Chandler Smith, Austin Hill, and Carson Hocevar ran out the top 10. Also this time for the playoff rankings, top 8. Then for the other drivers, going from the 20th place, so from 11th to 20th, Grant Finger, Johnny Sauter, Derek Kraus, Austin Wayne Self, Tyler Ankrum, Ryan Truex, Haley Deegan, Tanner Gray, Chase Purdy, and Tate Fogelman ran out of the top 20. So Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, John Hunter Nemechek, those are the 4 drivers who will be competing for the championship. I think 3 of them looking for their first. Crafton is the only one looking for his 3rd championship. I think 3rd. Or is this his 4th? I can't remember. He's won quite a few times in the Truck Series. But anyways, so there's the Truck Series all done. Let's now move on to the Xfinity Series, and these are the 4 drivers who will be competing for a championship. Noah Gragson, Austin Cindric, the lone winner Daniel Hemrick, and Adrian Allmendinger. And once again, if Hemrick somehow wins the championship after not even winning any race, then how and why? Just revolt back to the old system where it was winner takes all. Jesus Christ. But still, it was actually quite fun. And then the drivers who missed out on the playoffs, Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, Brennan Jones, Harrison Burton. And behind those 4, Maya Snyder, Jeb Burton, Riley Herbst, and Jeremy Clements. As for the drivers to the top 20, so from 13th to 20th, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Seek, Michael Ornette, Brandon Brown, Josh Berry, Josh Williams, Alex LeBay, and Tommy Joe Martins. So Gregson, Cindric, Hemrick, Allmendinger, they are obviously in the chance of winning the championship. And for the final one, it is the Cup Series. And the 4 drivers who will be competing for a championship, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Mark Truex Jr., and Denny Hamlin. Obviously, all these drivers have won a race, so there won't be any expose the system champion. So the drivers who were eliminated, I'm going to try and remember, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Joe Logano, and Kyle Busch. So for the, I guess just for the, championship, whatever, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Joe Logano, Kyle Busch, William Byron ran out the top 10. Then Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Eric Almirola, and Michael McDowell ran out the playoff grid of the top 16. From 17th to 20th, Austin Dillon, Chris Buescher, Matt DiBenedetto, and Ross Chastain. So Larson, Elliott, Truex, Hamlin, they will be your championship contenders heading into Phoenix. And it was literally, as a reminder, before I end the video, Phoenix will be the last race of the season for all 3 Premier Series, and we'll be obviously talking about Daytona for next year. For the 2022 season. I'll be also making a video about silly season when it gets very, very close of each series starting. So that'll be very, very fun for me to do. So that's really it for me now. Just a reminder, please like, comment, subscribe. It really actually helps. But until next video, goodbye.